Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginners League, from Oulton Park, it's the Global SimRacing Channel's final round coverage of the Season 20 Formula Neagle Championship. This is why you bought your ticket. It's time for the big reveal. Rosebud is a sled. Vader is Luke's dad. Bruce Willis is a ghost. For 4 rounds, the plot has thickened. A 9-time champion, Aeronum, is in jeopardy of being bested for a crown for the first time ever. The man attempting to do so, David Burns, is a former champion himself. But because his title was earned in the season that Num sat out, the asterisk that hangs from his trophy has cast a shadow on Burns' achievement. Third Degree wants to step out from that shadow. A no-drop race rule package means one mistake from either driver will turn championships dreams to a season finale nightmare. If you don't stay tuned, you'll miss your metaphorical opportunity to sit on a horse on a beach and stare at the Statue of Liberty buried up to her neck. All that, damn you all to hell, Skippy action streams your way live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Good health, everyone, and welcome to yet another Formula Neagle broadcast. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. It's Ryan Walker alongside yours truly, Phil Soups on. Sean Ambrose has director duties with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. It was 6 seasons ago, 42 races since Formula Neagle last came to Oulton Park. A memorable visit for Johan van de Velde, as that was the last time he won a race. Since that day was much less memorable for most of us, let's take a refresher course on today's racing venue in a little faster open-wheel car.
All right, we've got Stefan Schlacker in the GSRC Renault. So let's do a lap around Oulton Park. down at Old Hall Corner, the apex is deceptive because you'll be tempted into turning in earlier than you should. On top of that, the car likes to understeer on the exit, so it's tricky to get it right. From there, you drift across and at Denton's try to line yourself up for the braking into Cascades. This is a very important corner where drivers will find it easy to accrue off tracks because the exit boundaries are pretty strict. But it'll be important to get yourself a good run because there's no braking until you hit the Shell hairpin. Island Bend is easily flat out, but make sure to hold the car off to the left to open up the entry into this long banked turn. You might see some passes into here, but it's tough to tell whether someone will defend until it's very late, and that may cause some tangles. From out of there, it's another case of find the power as soon as you know the car will stick. We're going to bypass the Britain chicane and climb up over Hilltop where your speeds are going to be getting pretty high. That brings us to Knickerbrook, which you would think could offer a chance to pass, but it's going to be risky. This kink is terribly fast in this car, and if I'm honest, most drivers should go through here single file. Clay Hill and Water Tower are sort of non-corners that you just try to straighten out, but the way the track isn't perfectly straight in the braking zone for Druids and its double apex makes this another frustrating turn to nail. Make sure not to lose it on the crest coming off there, and then you've got a short breather before Lodge. This is really your last good chance for a pass on the lap, but look at how the elevation falls away from you on the exit. Spins and off tracks will be a common sight. Hopefully you've kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Oulton Park.
A little faster lap than we'll see in the Skippy, but you get the idea. All right, let me bring in Ryan Walker here. Ryan, this track's kind of your neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. As based in the UK and one of my favourites on the iRacing service. And some details for today and the final round of the series. This is season 20, and this is the final round of the season. The race length, as always, in the series is 40 minutes, and the fuel is limited, so it's only limited to 51% fuel, so you'll have to make a mandatory pit stop, and the incident cap is 17. And yeah, that's the details for the final round of the season.
What kind of race we're looking at here in these Skippies? They're always a draft track. This is probably the same type of thing going on here for this one.
I think it's the draft effect on especially that back straight is going to be a major factor in this race, and also we're using the international layout, so you'll have that chicane on the back straight, and with the pack being so bunched up with the slipstream, I think we could be seeing some. I don't like to jinx it, but we could be seeing some people having issues just being caught out by the closing speeds.
It'll be interesting to see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. We talked about it in the opening. These are short seasons, only 5 rounds. There are no drop races, so anything that happens today to Burns or Numb will count. There's no magic washing it away because of the drop races. 9-point difference in the standings. Now, that's a considerable margin in the way that these points are laid out. So I think Burns was thinking that 3rd place is probably enough for him to get the championship. We'll try to do the math if we can here at GSRC, but that always gets us in trouble. Remember, there are bonus points for 3 ways. You get a bonus point, top 3 in qualifying, if you lead a lap, and if you have the fastest lap out there during the race. So those bonus points could play a factor. You see Mikkel Hofladeson down the order a little bit in 3rd. Lee Anderson has a win. And there's another champion, Alex Johnson. He also has a championship to his name. Let's go ahead and look at the team championships here. This is all about 2 stupid dogs. They've been around forever. This is Vincent Bream and David Burns. Those guys have won more championships than I can count. They look like they got this one wrapped up as well. Now, Team Bushfink Racing Pink. Well, that's just a one-man team. That's Errol Numb, the Roland Estonian, doing that all himself. Then you see AM Racing Team, NHR Esports 2.0, and Evolve Motorsports filling out the graphic. We're glad that you're with us here for this final round, Season 20. GSRC has been here since Formula Neagle went to the open-wheeled format. That was Season 5. We have been here for every season since. We appreciate their patronage and asking us to come back season after season. We hope to do it again for Season 21. Practice time's going on there. Ryan, Lee Anderson sitting at the top.
Yeah, Lee Anderson, I've watched him a few times in the Absolute Beginners League. He's really, probably one of the quickest people in this car, and also not far behind him, you've got the likes of Errol Nom and David J. Burns, and at GSRC's very own Johan Vanderbilt. So good to see Johan doing well in practice. Can he transfer that form into qualifying?
Vanderbilt, we talked about it. It's been 42. He has 6 career wins to his name, but it's been 42 races since he's won last time. He hopes to do it again today. He doesn't think, we talked to him before the race, he didn't think he had the pace to do it. He thinks that he's going to need some attrition to happen in front of him for him to vulture a win. A driver I'd like you to look at, he's in the pits right now. It's car number 27, Juice Junk. Watch out for him. He's very exciting and very quick. Let's take a look at car number 96. Here's a look at. This is Alex Johnson, a former champion. And now as we go to qualifying, everybody's going to go in, catch a little break here as we're going to bring everybody out to run their time. Ryan Walker, interesting aspect of this qualifying is that it's open qualifying, something you don't see much. So you can get yourself in a draft, get to toe, pick up a few spots.
Indeed. And like you mentioned, with qualifying being open, it means that everyone at the moment, as soon as qualifying started, everyone just bolted out of the pits on the pit exit. So everyone's eager to try and get a slipstream off each other. And around this track, especially with the long straights, that slipstream is going to be a major factor.
And now, with everybody out on the track, let's go ahead and look at car number 7 right now. This is just Junk, just rolling out of pit lane. This is a driver I want you to keep an eye on. Look at those colors. They'll be easy to spot. He's very exciting, looking to pick up his first win. Car number 727, just coming out on the track right now. Juice Junk. Second fastest in practice. Look for him to do really well. Let's look at car number 81. He is in a pinata full of bees right now. This is Mikkel Hofladezen. One of the most exciting drivers you'll want to watch, and especially lap number 1. He is fearless on the opening laps. When the tires are cold, there are positions to pick up, and that's when he likes to do it. And I'm safe to say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but also on the other hand as well, with the cold tyres, and if you push too hard with the cold tyres, especially on lap 1, it can come back to bite you. And so some of these drivers have to be very careful of that as well.
I am surprised that when I look around here, let's go to car number 337. This is Lee Anderson. He was fastest in practice. Look at the mess he is in right now. You would think the drivers would be looking to get themselves a little bit of track to run in, but right now, he's just kind of sitting in there following Aaron Law. That yellow car going off, that was Christopher Crook. More cars going off in the grass there. That was Neil Bamber, a former champion in the British Alfalfa. Well, if qualifying gives an indication of what type of racing we're going to see, it's going to be messy. Boy, these guys are really making a mess of it out there. We saw Stefan Slacker, and there is Jason Guerra. Couple drivers here that have GSRC booth experience with Slacker and Vanderbilt. Talk about a guy with GSRC booth experience. We're looking here at Johan Vanderbilt.
Absolutely, just comes around the final corner as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Strip, but I believe this track was the last place that Johan won a race.
It's been a while ago. Talk about another now. This guy has never commentated for GSRC, but he has probably as much on-air time as a lot of us do. He has been interviewed many, how about 3 more many times here on GSRC for winning. We're talking about the Roland Estonian, Errol Num. The Trident, Frederick Neptune. Aaron Num's driving all by himself this season on his team, but for a lot of times he was teamed up for Bush Fink Pink with Frederick Neptune. There's those familiar colors I told you about. Times are starting to roll in. Hofladezen sitting at the top of the chart. We're waiting for Junk to put in his time. Here's a driver we don't know a lot about, Neil Stevenson. This is his first season in Formula Neagle. 18 drivers putting in time so far. You can see at the top, Hofladezen, who already has a pole this season, tentatively up there right now.
Yeah, Neil Stevenson, he's a name I recognise from another Skip Barber league that runs on a Monday night, and he's not always the quickest driver, but he's a nice, consistent driver. He can finish races and pick up a good, consistent result.
Vanderbilt around to put in that first lap. This is sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League, but don't be fooled by that name. We say it all the time. They are very welcoming. If you're a newcomer, you're welcome to come in and race as long as you keep it clean. They'll be willing to help you. But when you look at the top of the chart, which right now is Errol Num as he just gets up there, boy, the talent pool is deep up here with Num, Hofladezen, and Burns. Lee Anderson in his frosted purple machine shoots to the top in the number 337. He has a win this season. There's only been 4 races, as these are very short seasons. 2 wins for Burns, a win for Anderson, and then last time, Errol Num picked up his first one. Elise Wojciech. Moves into the 13th spot.
Neil Stevenson's coming up to the final corner and just about to complete his lap, and I believe this is his first lap of qualified, so he's just coming across the line now to complete it, and it should be round about a 53 or a 54 and a 54.5, so that should put him up to round about the mid-pack.
Let's pick up car number 96, former champion, the Swede with speed, Alex Jansson. He's sitting well down the order. 24 spots off the pole right now in 24th. Look for him to do better. He's got a long way to go as he has the entire lap as he comes into Knickerbrook. Now, here's the prettiest painted car on the track. That frosted purple machine of Lee Anderson. Sitting second right now, trying to better that time. He had a 1:56.71. Couldn't do it. He stays in second. Third degree Burns now at the top of the chart. There's the California driver, Christian Kabanka, coming across. Veteran Josh Bray. Go ahead.
I was just about to say the same thing. Josh Brain's coming around to complete his lap as well, and looks to be a clean lap, and it should be round about 51.9.
After we look here at Russ, let's go to the 96 of Alex Jansson. In fact, he has put in his time. Sure enough, since we've been watching, Jansson now jumped up to 6th position. That's what I thought might happen. I knew he was a little slow down there in 24th. Now the familiar names start to sit at the top of the tower. The surprising name sits in 7th. Andre Salander. That's a newcomer. Ryan, so often in these early laps, it's a question of trying to stay on the lead train. How far will it be? 5 cars, 10 cars, 15 cars? We'll find out.
As Johan van der Velde goes to P7, but David Burns is coming up across the line now, and it looks to be a good lap, and improves 150.4.
Very important. Anderson right behind him. Anderson might have been in the tow, remember? All these lap times are draft assisted. Want to be fast? But maybe more importantly, you want to be behind somebody who's even fast. You see those names up there? They all look familiar. Kabonka sitting in 6th. How quickly it changes. Here comes Alex Johnson. We talked about Anders Salander just a minute ago, was in 7th. Well, now he's been bumped down to 10th. The Swede with speed. His Achilles heel has not been what he does on the track, it's what he does in pit lane. Still trying to figure out how to put fuel in one of these skippies. Notorious for putting in too much, and sometimes too little. There's Bambi. Another champion. "36 drivers have put in qualifying time so far. Peter Reed, Jack Turner, and Anton Bergstrom. 3 drivers yet to put in a time. We expect them to get one in. Ryan with 39 cars out here in a relatively small track with a short lap time. Lap traffic could easily play a factor before the 40 minutes are done.
Yeah, quite possibly around this. Quite possibly as how Flair Deson's coming across the line and coming up to across the line, I should say, to complete his lap, and it looks doesn't look like he's going to improve. Actually, he improved slightly.
One of the features of any Formula Neagle race is the standing start, and the tires will be cold and will be exciting as they go into that first corner, the sweeping right-hander that is Old Hall Corner. Hopefully all 39 cars will get through that cleanly. With the standing start in a big field, let's go to the grid right now so Ryan and I can both get our GSRC's commentator bonus for getting through the entire field before they go green. Sitting on the front row, it's Lee Anderson with David Burns flanking him. Eric Blix sneaks up into 3rd position, flanked by 9-time champion Errol Num. Eric Lukel sits in 5th inside of Andre Salander. Look at that, Salander get back up there into the 3rd row. Mikael Hofladezen has a pole already, sits in 7th. The driver we talked about, Dushunk, in 8th. Louis Sauer, the veteran, inside the California driver of Christian Kabonka. Ryan?
Starting in 11th is Aaron Laff with Alex Johnson in 12th alongside him. Johan van der Velde starts in 13th, and 14th is Alex Wojcik. 15th is Wojciech Wojcik. Hopefully I pronounced that right. 16th is Vincent Brem. Matt Tempest starts in 17th, was Thomas Kick in 18th. 19th is Christopher Giros, and round out the top 20 is Josh Brown.
We get to the blackjack position. These drivers are 2 seconds off the pole time. Nick Carty sits in that 21st spot. The double tuck spot for Christian Kirk. Former champion Neil Bamber sits in 23rd inside of Dominic Webb. The quarter century mark goes to GSRC's own Stefan Slocker. The Trident in 26th. Frederick Neptune with Paul Carey after him. Christopher Kane in 28th, 29th, and 30th. That's going to be Zach Lawson and Hendrik Kamara.
First is going to be Tony Banks with Neil Stevenson in 32nd. 33rd is Neil Smith, Jason Guerrero in 34th, Dennis Ross in 35th, and the last person to settle that time in 36 was Alex Saunders.
Then we'll see if Peter Reed, Anton Bergstrom, and Jack Turner actually grid up. They did not put in a qualifying time. Hopefully they'll get out there. 36 drivers did put in a time, the fastest being Lee Anderson. You'll know it's Lee. I say it all the time, but it is a beautiful car, a purple frosted machine, car number 337. A standing start. The tires are cold. Let's take a quick look at the weather here before the engines start to harmonize, see what these are looking at as far as the tires goes. Nice temperature. In fact, the track temperature, I guess that's comfortable. Of course, so many of us, our viewers, are from the world of metrics, I cannot do the translation for you. 74 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about an average temperature for you. Beautiful day to go racing here in the UK. Look at that low angle Dougie Beard camera shot. The Swede with speed, notorious for being one of the last cars out here. We thank him for letting us get our commentator's bonus. You can hear those engines start to harmonize. In a minute, you'll know what to do. Gather up the chickens, take covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and it is Lee Anderson leading the stampede into Old Hall Corner. He is followed by David Third Degree Burns. Eric Blixt well up the order. What is he doing up there? Eric Num and Eric Lukel round out your top 5 for Blixt. That is a surprisingly high position early on.
Yep, and excuse me, it looks like everyone's managed to make it through turn 1 and through the first few corners without any issues. And look at this big pack of cars. So this is fantastic.
Well behaved up front. Only a few cars going side by side. You'll see that Johan Vanderbilt is working hard around Aaron Shangri-La. He gets that taken care of. In the back, it's a little more. Oh, there's a big pile up in the back. It's an octopus putting on his socks. Cars are going everywhere. We'll come back and take a look at that in a minute. Oh, my goodness. It involved a half dozen cars. Didn't see any of the big names down there. One car almost went over. We'll come back and look at it later. Wojciech Podolczak almost got turned on his lid. Meanwhile, up front, Brian, things are much more behaved with Anderson out in front, Burns chasing.
Yeah, but it was a lot more behaved up at the front, like you say, and it's like this big half pack up at the front has managed to pull away from the rest of the second pack behind them, and yeah, unfortunately, some people got caught up in issues further back in the pack, but so it's been reasonably well behaved on lap 1.
So the question was early on, how long would the lead train be? Well, right now, to my eyes, it looks to be 14 cars long, with the caboose being Elise Wojciech back there. Wojciech racing in 14th position, hanging on to the back of Aaron Shangri-La. Okay, Hofladason is doing his very best. He's in a battle with Anders Lander. This is a battle for 6th position. And while these guys are playing around, all that horseplay, they got to be careful that they don't lose touch with the back of, who would it be, Eric Lukel in there. Hofladason now up into, if I get my timing and scoring right, there's a lot of drivers to tow, so some of our tower may be off there. Hofladason racing in 6th position now behind Lukel.
Yep, and it all seems to have settled down now, and this pack at the moment behind Hofladason is starting to, well, actually I was going to say starting to build up. It's starting to get longer, more like.
I got to apologize to the friends and family, the fan club of car number 89, Eric Blix. What a great job he is doing. I've called a lot of Formula Neagle races, and I just not used to seeing him race so far up right now. He is in 4th position. No, that's 3rd position. There we go. Timing and scoring gets caught up again, right behind Burns. Great run for him. Now, right behind this car is the Roland Estonian, Aero Num. If Errol can't get to the front, then he'll be happy to sit back here and save fuel. So much of this, there you see right below the suspension, that's the Roland Estonian coming up as they work through Lodge Corner. That's the final corner as they head across the line. They're going to finish up lap number 2, working lap number 3 now. There are a lot of cars to keep track of right now. We'll do our best to do it, but if you want to do it yourself, go to GSRC.tv for timing and scoring. It's a great added element to a broadcast. Plus, you can see all the mistakes I make. Let's go to a 7th position. I maybe overhyped him right now. This is Juice Junk. I expected him to race up front. My goodness, Ryan, he's almost 2 seconds behind Hofladays.
Yeah, he seems to have fallen back, and Yonk at the moment is under attack from Sealander, and these two have been actually just looking behind these two guys as well. They're managed to pull away slightly from this pack behind and just build up a little bit of a cushion as they come through the first chicane. And Yonk, I thought Yonk was going to get sideways there, but manages to hold it.
Director, things are settling down. Do you want to take a shot at that opening lap melee? I think maybe the car to focus on might be Vocek Potocek. That would be car number 28. We'll see what happens here. It's really too many cars to actually for us to name, but you'll get an idea of the nonsense that happened on that opening lap. The Polish driver almost went over. Not missing anything up front. There you see him on the grid. It won't be long as they begin to roll. While we look at this, they continue to race in the same order that they have been all race. Now, they were nice and orderly up front, Ryan, but back here they were a little more chaotic, and it cost them.
Yeah, it just seems to be, looking at the replay at the moment, it just seems to be everyone possibly might have just bunched up, and just everyone got bunched up, and it just unfortunately caused a bit of a concertina effect. And yeah, unfortunately, Wojciech was the unfortunate victim.
I love that nice lot. That's a great shot to me as they start the accordion effect right here. As they come out of this corner, you see the bumping and banging. They go around, and here they come. Took out a lot of drivers. We come back live. Absolutely nothing has changed up front. It is still Lee Anderson. But what is happening? We talked about lap traffic. Well, Anderson's got a windscreen full of Neil Stevenson here. Neil lifting, getting out of the way. A new aspect, a new rule change this season was they brought in the fast repair to the Formula Neagle events. Why does this matter? Well, in the past, when we had a big incident like that, those cars would be done. But now with the fast repair, they bring them back out, and all of a sudden the leaders have to deal with lap traffic a lot sooner than they would. No troubles for these veterans. Big picture, David Burns sitting in second. The man chasing him in the points, Errol Num, sitting in fourth. If the race were to end right now, and I guarantee you it will not, David Burns would be your champion. Another lap driver, that's Nick Carty getting out of the way. Let's take a look at Ludwig Sauer. He had a nice ride. And our number 11, and let's stay on this for a while, because after Sauer gets turned over, he gets dragged a bit. This is fun. Now watch Sauer, then he gets collected and towed along. Oh, reminds me, I don't know if they have a roller derby as a global sport, but you kind of got whipped along there.
Yeah, that was a bit. It was slightly amusing to watch, I thought anyway. But yeah, that was unfortunate for Sawyer. He just got tagged and they kind of flipped over, but back up at the front, it's still Lee Anderson leading the race, and David Burns, the championship leader, is slightly falling back a little bit. But if I was Zero Num, I would be kind of trying to get the hurry up at. I would be trying to hurry up and trying to make a move possibly just to try and keep in touch with David Burns. But on the other hand, he's doing a good thing sitting there, just saving some fuel.
Let's look at car number 42. This is Eric Lukal, a veteran of this series. He's about 0.8 of a second behind Mikkel Hofladason, doing his very best to stay on the lead path. I think he's safe. Now, about 1.5 seconds behind him is Juice Junk. He would like to get up there as well. The problem is Lee Anderson is putting in some good times. He's not taking it slow. Series managers are very, very sneaky when it comes to bonus points. They put in a couple things to keep the racing interesting. Bonus point for fastest lap, meaning a driver's never safe. You're always trying to get that bonus point. You're always trying to go faster. And a bonus point for leading a lap, which right now everyone would like to do. Especially, you talked about Errol Num sitting back there in fourth, Ryan. Well, he needs every point he can get sometime in this race. He wants to get up front and get that point for leading a lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, being in fourth place is all well and good, and maybe he wants to save some fuel, but on the other hand, riding on board with Blix at the moment as well in third place, and having a good run, and keeping the top two in front of him quite honest, and it's at the moment nice and consistent.
I love what Eric Blix is doing right now. He is sandwiched between a couple big-name drivers. David Burns, who has a championship and is looking to get a second one right now, and 9-time champion Errol Num. Look what that number 89 is doing. Boy, he's working it. Look at that. That's Errol Num in the mirror, and in the windscreen is Burns ahead of him. I love that camera shot. And look at the gloves. Look at the hands work the wheel. These skippies are so fun to drive. Ryan, you have to be smooth, but you kind of have to manhandle them a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, it's one of those cars that just because it's such a fun car, you want to throw it around, but on the other hand, you've got to really take care of it. And at the moment, it seems to be just watching the Blix's onboard. He just seems so smooth. He's not throwing the car around. He's not overdriving. He's just being nice and smooth. And at the moment, he's under attack from. Actually, it looks like Errol Num lost a position. Or actually, my bad. My live timing is playing up. My apologies.
Let's go to car number 27. This is Yushunk. He's in a battle with Eric Lukel. He just got around Lukel. He's now almost 2 seconds behind Hofladezen. Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay here because they were having a nice battle here. We'll go ahead. We haven't shown you much on-track passing. Oh, no. We're going to go to Errol Num. We're going to go away from that replay. It's Mikael Hofladezen is who we're going to go to. I'm sorry to take you away, but this happened up front. As we're speaking, car number 81, he was racing in 5th position, got in it with the lapped car of Jason Guerrera, car number 56. 81 and 56 get together, and all of a sudden, Hofladezen, his chances of winning are gone. We were looking at that replay, but when something happens up front, and Hofladezen spins again, right in front of Christopher Kane, the lap car. Hofladezen there's the contact. And then we don't need to see the next one. Hofladezen thought the car was good. He spins it. His car is severely damaged right now. He is limping it along, losing position after position. Apologies to all the Junk and Lukel fans. We were about to see that pass, but when something happens up front. So now, Ryan, it's a 3-car train with the rolling Estonian Errol Num. I think he's probably okay sitting back there in 4th.
He's just sitting there, just sitting there in what I call the popcorn position. So more than happy just to sit back and just watch how these guys get on. And if any of these top 3 cars in front of him get caught up, he'll be the one to pounce and pick up the places and pick up more positions, proving vital in the championship.
So there you see at the top of your screen, this coming into view right now. Let's drop back and look at car number 27 again. This is Junk and Lukel. We were going to watch that pass on screen. With Hofladezen getting taken out, now the gap, while they did pick up a position because Hofladezen has been removed from the equation, the gap from Num in 4th back to Junk is now 2.5 seconds. That's going to be a tall order. riding on board the veteran of Neagle, looking up. 28 cars still on the lead lap. We are 15 minutes into the race. Pit window should be coming up pretty soon if you can pit early. It's a pretty big window in a Formula Neagle event. Let's go back to car number 23. No, I apologize. We're going to go to car number 33. I thought this was for a battle. In 8th position, this is Aaron Shangri-La. The car in front of him is Christopher Kane. He's working on making this pass here. Kane does a good job of getting out of the way. I'd like to highlight what Aaron has done. Up 3 spots. Racing in 8th, started in 11th. See if we can find ourselves a nice battle somewhere back in the pack. And we're going to go to 18th position. This is the Trident Neptune in a battle with Kabanka. Chasing him by about a second, 0.2. I'll be honest with you, things have pretty much stretched out. We pride ourselves here at GSRC of trying to show the battles throughout the entire field. There really is not much to look at back there. If I were to be honest, the best battle, well, it's up front. How long can Lee Anderson keep this lead?
That's a good
Now,
question.
Ryan, yeah, you think it's all great, Anderson up in front, but he's also doing all the work, burning the most petrol.
Yeah, I was about to bring up that point as well. It's he might be all well and happy sitting up at the front, but on the other hand, he's like you mentioned, he's using up more fuel, and these 3 cars behind him are more than happy just to sit in each other's slipstream and the fuel save, and that could prove vital when it comes to the pit stops.
Now, you want to know when the pit window's going to happen? I'll tell you what to look for. Right now, everything's nice and orderly up front. 1, 2, 3, 4, everybody's fine. When it's time to come into the pit lane, people like to be first down pit lane, so you'll see things heat up. David Burns may be happy to sit in second. Look for him to make a pass going into Lodge Corner between 15 and 16 so he can be first down into pit lane. That's when you know things are about to happen. And I got to say it one more time. I hate to keep stressing this point, but how about a tip of the hat to Eric Blixt? Man, he must have had a good night's sleep or something. He's having the race of his career, car number 89. I don't know if this translates all across, but slept at the Holiday Inn Express is what we're thinking.
Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. As yeah, I've watched him quite a few times this season, and he's been a consistent driver. He's been getting good results, and at the moment he's doing well in P3 and keeping, again, like I mentioned before, keeping the top 2 in front of him in touch and doing a good job. And if he finishes on the podium today, I think it will be a great result.
Okay, if the drivers will behave up front, let's go ahead and look at a couple other drivers we haven't highlighted yet. Car number 29 in 9th place, Alex Wojcik. Started in 14th of 5 positions. A lot of that has been from attrition. He's got nobody around him, so let's drop back 1 more spot to the Strudelmeister, Thomas Kick. There we go. Now we can look at the top above his helmet. Racing in the Corona car. I just the irony of that one, huh? I gotta keep going on this one. American Standard. If you're not familiar with that product, well, trust me, you have one in your home. Oh, gotta love the Strudelmeister. How about 1 more spot? Let's go ahead and do a little self-promoting 11th position, Stefan Slocker. Again, nobody to race with, but he is kind enough not to race with the GSRC colors on the car because he said he was going to crash, so we appreciate that. Good luck to him. All right, let's go back up front, see what's going on up there. My gosh, they are racing close, but they are just so well behaved.
yeah, these guys have been really just behaving well. They've not been doing anything silly, and just none of these top four cars seem to or don't want to. Looks like they don't want to try and make a move at the moment. I think they're waiting until the pit window and they maybe try and make moves after that. But at the moment, they all seem to be just line astern.
Oh my goodness. Eric Blixt is on David Burns tighter than a Mardi Gras wino. This is not what Burns needs. He's racing for a championship. The last thing he needs, and again, Eric Blixt, we love you and we love the race you are having, but Burns is looking for a championship. I'm thinking, if I'm David Burns, I'm not so sure I wouldn't have preferred to be in fourth position without somebody lurking behind me. Look at the interval between those top four. They are a car length apart for all of them. No pits this time. Everybody stays out. We're past the halfway mark. A few guys have taken. Eric Saunders has bit the bullet, and Anton Bergstrom has come in. Let's go ahead and look at car in 13th position. This is Christian Kabanka, car number 37. Why do we care about him? He's the leader of all the cars who have pitted. This is what my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. He comes in early, he falls down the order. He's in 13th right now, really working the car. And then later on, what's revealed is, well, he's well up the order. You forget about him. So we'll keep an eye on the California kid, Christian Kabanka. We gotta, viewers, you watch other broadcast companies and they focus on the front. GSRC prides itself on going through the field. We cannot do it. This is the battle to watch. We are just, every time we leave here, Ryan, it's a game of Russian roulette that we're going to miss an accident that's going to happen live. You got to feel that somebody's going to make a mistake here. They are racing so close.
Absolutely, and if I'm one of these top four cars or top three cars that stuck behind Anderson, if I was them, I would maybe try taking a punt and maybe try and pit in early and trying to do the undercut. It's worth a shot, but maybe these top four or top three cars want to try and go as long as possible and just stretch the fuel.
Errol Numm is notorious. Was right on board the Frosted Purple car of our leader, Lee Anderson. Errol Numm is notorious for coming in early. I kind of wonder if he's thinking big picture that he can't afford. Here they come. All right, Anderson is in, and also comes in is Blixt. Errol Numm stays out, as do David Burns. Look at this. The top two guys in the championship stay out. This is Numm's chance to get a bonus point for leading the lap. You got to figure that this is an opportunity Numm is going to take if he has it. If he has the pace. So they start to roll. Anderson comes out first. He's going to cycle out in 7th. Blixt right behind him. About 6 seconds ahead of Thomas Kick. Kick now sitting 3rd of all the drivers who have pitted. All right. Errol, this is your chance, baby. They go down into the twisty section here. I'm going to do my best not to call corner number 12 Knickerbocker. It is indeed Knickerbrook. NBA fans would understand my issues with that corner. They head down into 15. Here comes the pass. Is Numm going to make it into Druids? He does not. The right sweeping right-hander here. There's only one more corner. Let's see if Errol wants to push the issue. Maybe, with all the fuel that Numm has saved, he may want to go one more. Burns has got to come in this time. Burns does. Numm is going to follow him in. And when I mean follow, I mean basically sitting in his lap. Now, let's go ahead and we'll pick up Anderson. Why do we care about Anderson? He's in 7th spot right now because he was our leader coming in. We want to see how he cycles out in relationship to Burns and Numb. Through the final corner, Ryan.
Yep, just watching Anderson now, and
look who's out first.
And it looks like
Numb jumped him.
Actually,
Numb jumped
yeah, Numb. I was about to say Numb jumped him.
And Numb is going to get out on track first. Anderson is right. That's Cardi. No, I apologize. But he's still out in front of Anderson, is he not? Cheryl, by a ton. By a country mile. The Roland Estonian has done it again. You don't become 9-time champion by not knowing how to make a pit shot. Now, I don't think Numb got credit with leading a lap because I think Burns was first across the line in pit lane. So if Numb wants that bonus point, I think he's going to have to earn it right now.
And what do you do if you're Burns, Soup? Do you try and get by him as quickly as possible, or try and make a move, or just try and show the nose and try and unrattle Numb? Because Aero Numb, he doesn't get rattled that easy.
No. Well, if you're Burns, you're thinking, I don't need the bonus point, but I would sure like to keep Numb from having it. In fact, it's really Burns already has his point for leading a lap. If you can keep Numb from getting his, but time is running out. They work through Knickerbrook. This is a fun corner for me. I like 15 for whatever reasons. It's a nice, sweeping, 90-degree right-hander. I'm able to find the apex. I like simple corners. I don't think there's enough time for Burns to make the move. If they were to get together, Ryan, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to Burns right now, as neither one of them would score points, and Burns could vulture his way to a championship. There's your lead. There's your point for leading the lap. The Roland Estonian.
And if Numb and Burns take each other out or get caught up with each other, but it's, like you mentioned, it's not the worst thing. But on the other hand, look who's in the popcorn position in third place. It's Lee Anderson. If these two guys get caught up, he could be there to pick up that first position.
Let me see if I can say this intelligently as we see Burns now taking a peek. As they work through this sweeping corner number 4, it's this left there. Now they're side by side. Cialis Bathtubs going into the Shell Oil corner. This is the hairpin. Look at the momentum on the outside from third degree. He's able to hold on there. And with these underpowered cars from the outside, the engine's revved up a little more. They continue to race side by side. Boy, they continue to fight it out. This has allowed Anderson to get into the mix. They've been side by side for half a lap.
This is absolutely bonkers, and just like that, Lee Anderson closes the gap right up on these top two cars, and he's right behind these two guys now, and is up. As Numb, as on board with Anderson, and Numb is up under huge pressure now from David Derns, but also Lee Anderson's joined in the party now.
Why do we call it the popcorn position? Lee Anderson with butter on his racing gloves, watching up ahead, watching the show, fighting for an armrest all to his own. Eric Blix is back in the mix, and remember me hyping car number 7027, Juice Junk? Hello! He's here. Watch out for that yellow and blue car. The nonsense that have been put on between Burns and Numb allowed these guys to all run him down, including Juice Junk. I got to take a peek at Young's pit stop time. Normal. In fact, it was slower than most. Aero Numb's time in pit lane, fastest of anybody. You got to wonder if he can afford to be out front.
I'm just looking at his pack now, Soup. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, a five car battle now, and I'm just wondering where did these other cars behind come from?
Here he comes! Young makes the move, gets to the inside. Boy, my God, he really had to get on the binders. He had to lock it up, and I think he used the gearbox of Lee Anderson to help slow down. Junk makes the pass on Blix, now up into 4th. Again, there is racing all through the field, but if we left here, it would be a sin. tip of the hat to Andy Saunders for getting out of the way as those 5 drivers go through. Blix now says hello to Juice Junk as well. Boy, Burns, he's sitting okay. I'm going to try to explain this without being too confusing. But the interval in the points here in a Formula Eagle event is bigger between first and second than it is between, let's say, fourth and fifth. So even though, and here comes Junk again, trying to get to the inside of Anderson. They almost interlock wheels.
And I don't know about you, Suit, but I'm not even racing, and I'm still getting nerves watching this battle. This is absolutely fantastic stuff.
We have drivers on different agendas. Errol Numb has got to get to the end. Burns has got to get to the end. If he can't get to the end, at least he hopes that Errol doesn't get there as well. One mistake is the championship. These guys have been racing all season long with Lee Anderson. Anderson belongs up there, but then you get the 2 wild cards, Juice Junk and Eric Blix, who continues to race up with the big boys. Car number 27 and car number 89. They want to win. Just got the news in my headphones from our director. We are cemented on this battle. If you are a fan of Alex Johnson, sorry, here comes Junk. Junk making a move as they head down into this chicane. He gets another spot. He is a coming. My goodness. Do not want to pat myself on the back, but one of our commentators said, keep an eye on this guy. We thought he was out of it. He's here now.
Yeah, and they... Oh, sorry, shoot.
No, and this, Brian, this when you think big picture, now Burns says, I've got this, and apologies to Junk, I've got this maniac behind me who's racing like it's like watching a drunk chase a balloon near a cliff. It's exciting, but you know it's not going to end well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eustace is absolutely on it. He's just, he's taking no prisoners, and he's trying to make a move on Burns. Oh, he gets a bit sideways in the middle of turn 1.
Errol Numb's got to be happy out in front, assuming fuel is not an issue for him. You do not want to be back another spot. I wonder if Burns is watching behind him at the aggressiveness of that car number 27. He wants it. Boy, one mistake, even a checkup from Numb, if Burns has to react, it's going to put Junk right in his gearbox.
They're coming up to the first of 2 chicanes on this back section, and Anderson tries to make a move on Jonk, and he can't. He just ran into the back of him, but he gets a great run.
Oh my goodness, it looked like a slowdown penalty. He really took a lot out of the corner. Now they are Cialis bathtubs as they head into this chicane, this little right, left, right chicane out of here. Junk able to hold on to the spot. Eric Blix has to feel like Rudolph. None of the reindeers will let him play in the reindeer games. He's back there in 5th, but he can't get up there. Oh, what racing, the season finale in Formula Neagle. And it's been clean. Knock on this imitation wood. Errol Numb doing all he can to get the championship. David Burns knows he's in position to win it. What could take Burns out of the championship? What could ruin his dream of another trophy coming to his house? Well, it could be just Junk. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if Burns can afford to give up the position. I think 9 points interval coming into this race, he probably can. I think a first from Numb and a third from Burns. Eustace loose, and it rhymes, and it was fun to say, and Lee Anderson gets the spot.
And the top two up at the front, after their issues for use getting sideways, they've managed to just pull out a little bit of a gap to Anderson. But yeah, that slipstream on the back straight that will help these 3 cars behind top two reel the gap back in, and as they come up to the chicane. And yeah, if I'm David Burns, I would be absolutely shaking right now with nerves.
We are not going to go there. I'm just going to mention it so they know that we know. Nice battle from Eric Lukal and Alex Johnson. It's fun. We're not going there, boys. You guys are too well behaved. The action up front. This is the final race. This has championship consequences going on. Our cameras are focused up here with this 5-car battle. 4 of them have been involved in it. The one who's been sitting out is Eric Blixt. If momentum needs anything going into season 21, this is a great race for Blixt as he figures, I can race with these guys. Oh, look at this. Here comes Junk again, looking to the inside, trying to get underneath Anderson. Anderson in the frosted purple machine fends him off. Burns has got to be feeling a little bit better, wiping his brow now, knowing that the craziness of that yellow and blue car, at least he has the buffer of Anderson between him and Junk. Blixt now realizes time is running out. With only 4 minutes to go, Eric thinks, I got to get in the mix. The battle for 4th now starts to separate a little bit. But just as I say that, Junk back in it.
Absolutely. And Anderson is caught back up to Norman Burns, and Lee Anderson is going to try and go round the outside of David Burns through this fast left-hander, and he goes about, crosses the ground.
He's off into the alfalfa, but he gathers it up. That was impressive. I thought he was long gone. I thought he was on the way to Scotland to go see you. But he gets it gathered up. We'll stay in England.
Yeah, if he wants to come to Scotland, he can come whenever he wants. I'll take him for a pint after holding that. But David Burns has got the run. The battle for the lead still going on, and Burns is having to defend the second place from Eust into the chicane.
Boy. And I can't help but the worry now. I hate Errol Numb knows what he's doing, and if he's out in front, he's got to feel comfortable with the fuel. But man, his pit stop was really, really fast. He must have saved a ton on that first stint. The problem now for Burns is he's lost his safety buffer of Lee Anderson. Now he's got Mr. Excitement, Juice Junk behind him. Junk wants this win.
He absolutely does. And Eust is trying to go up the inside. He's up the inside. He's up the inside of Burns. Can they give each other room? Yes, they do. But David Burns, in a way, carries the momentum on the outside.
The outside line with these underpowered cars, if you can hold that line, you get a great runoff. But he wasn't able to finish the deal. Almost getting into him was Junk. Junk turned the wheel to the right, stayed off of Burns. All that battling, Burns has lost a ton of time to Numb. We are at the 2-minute mark. There'll be this and one more lap. Blixt makes the pass now on. Oh, I'm sorry. Anderson was trying to come back after going off into the grass. He races in 5th. They're heading down into the hairpin. Go ahead.
Yeah, again, the top two slightly break away from Eust, but again, it closes back up, and David Burns has got to be worrying. He's trying to make a move on the Errol Numb, but he's also having to defend. And yes, we're riding on board with Blixt. He's got a.
Blixt was inches away from ending Burns's hopes. He is right there. David, he is so close to you. He swings right and left, working both sides of the street like a drunken mailman. Now he pulls up alongside. He'll dive it in deep. Will Burns continue to pressure the issue? One mistake and Burns' championship hope will be wiped away like a squeegee from a homeless man. They almost touch. Their wheels interlock. This is going to allow Numb to drive away. David has got to be careful. He may want to surrender position, but there's no way for him to surrender. Only one, as they are stacked up behind him right now. The battle is for second. Can Burns survive? Somehow he manages to.
And David defends inside, and it has to defend the inside. He can't afford. I don't think if I was David, I wouldn't want to lose any more positions. But Eust is just being absolutely feisty, and he's like I mentioned before, he's absolutely taking no prisoners.
If Burns knows the math, if Burns knows he can afford to sacrifice position, David, you got to do it. This is just too risky. They touch again. He's in the grass, but he manages to keep it straight. The yellow and blue car was off in the grass. I thought he was going to loop back into Burns. They continue to race side by side, and finally, Junk has the position as he saws on the wheel. White flag lap. Eric Blixt would like third. I don't know if Burns can afford to sacrifice one more. Burns is right up. He turns him. This is going to could be the championship. Blixt. We worried about Junk getting into the back of Burns. It was Burns that got into the back of Junk. Somehow Third Degree, though, continues to race. He is in third position. Numb is running away with it. Blix has managed up into second. Burns has got to try to limp the car home. He's got 3.2 seconds on Anderson. Anderson was also caught up in the battle. The lap is about halfway done. Errol Numb can cruise home. It's all about the math now. Somehow Burns' car is still competitive as he works now on Blix. Burns spies, Burns tries, but Blix denies as they go down into Druids. Now Burns goes to the outside. He's got second back for now. Is the car healthy enough to stay on the track? He manages to do it. Our leader has one more corner to go. Right now it sits. Errol Numb is coming out of the final corner. He's going to get the season finale win. Second position is going to go to David Burns. I can do the math. Numb wins the race. Burns wins the championship. Blix will have to settle for third. Let's look at Use Junk is now in 12th position, car number 27. Talk about limping a car home. He's shedding parts left and right. He's racing on, I don't know if he has four wheels or not. Let's go ahead and look at the incident. Burns got into the back of Juice Junk. I thought it was going to cost them a championship. For Burns, he dodged the bullet. Junk is the second car, Ryan.
Yeah, that was fantastic racing, and I had a feeling at some point with this pack being so bunched up that something was going to give, and unfortunately something did give. But David Burns, he just ran into the back of Eust and just got caught out. But
we're on board with Burns as he puts a nose into the gearbox of Junk. And there we go. And Junk's car turns to Junk. Mama, cover my eyes. I've seen enough to know I've seen too much. The racing is over here, but we're going to take a short break. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, crown a champion, talk to some of the drivers, and put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Global SimRacing Channel. sanctioned by the Absolute Beginners League from Oulton Park. Welcome back to GSRC's final round coverage of the Season 20 Formula Neagle Championship. I've copped my breath. I've taken a sip of hot tea with lemon. Let's run down the finishing order for you. He's 9-time champion. He has never been defeated in any season he has made a legitimate shot for the crown. I'm talking about Errol Num. That streak ends today. He did all he could do. He won the race, but it won't be enough. The Rolling Estonian Errol Num will finish second in the points. David Third Degree Burns picks up his first championship, and it's the first time he's done it by beating the Rolling Estonian. Congratulations to our champion for Season 20. Eric Blixt had the race of his career in third. Alex Johnson, another former champion, was racing well out of the front. All the attrition late, he's able to vulture fourth position. We talked about the battle he was having with Eric Lukal that we did not cover. Lukal has to settle for fifth. The back half of your top 10, Lee Anderson, as he loses spots after getting involved in that late crash. Alice Salander, we didn't take a look at him. A nice run in seventh. We saw a little bit of Aaron Law. He gets an eighth position. Hendrik Kamara and Christian Kabaka round out your top 10. Ryan?
Finishing in 11th is Thomas Cook with Paul Kerry in 12th. 13th is GSRC's very own Stefan Slacker. 14th is Wojtek Potasek. 15th is Joost Jenk. Unfortunately, after that incident, Josh Brain finishes in 16th. Ludwig Sawyer finishes in 17th. Zach Lawson finishes in 18th. Christopher Crook finishes in 19th. And rounding out the top 20 was Frederick Neptune.
These drivers had issues now as we go to the blackjack spot for Christopher Garrels, a double duck spot for Andy Saunders. Former champion Neil Bamber behind them with Christopher Kane. Nick Carty sits in the quarter century mark. The next five are going to be Matt Tempest, Elise Wojcik, Neil Stevenson. We saw a little bit of him. He gets 28th with Jason Guerrero and Anton Bergstrom in 30th. And then we'll finish out the rest of these. Johan Vanderbilt in 31st, Troy Banks, Michael Hoflades, and all these guys ran into trouble. Dominic Webb. Peter Reed in 35th with Neil Schmidt, Dennis Rust, and 38th will be veteran Two Stupid Dog driver Vincent Bream. I believe that's all we need to talk to. All right, let's go ahead and talk to, as we have here, Errol Num, our race winner. Errol, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You sat back there in fourth. I'll be honest with you, I was a little worried. Your pit stop was so incredibly fast. You must have saved a lot of time on that first stint. A lot of fuel.
Yeah, I was saving a lot of fuel, and I short wheel it, so that's why at the end I had to back up so much.
Were you thinking about bonus points at any time during the race? Saying, boy, I would sure like to maybe not have fastest lap if I can't get that, but at least lead a lap?
No, yeah, I just make sure that I made the fastest lap when I was catching up. Yeah, so that was 1 point, but yeah, it was so hard to pass, so I had to wait for the pit stop and short wheel.
Got it. Now let's talk about hard to pass. On your first stint, I thought the group was fairly organized. After your pit stop, you got up front. Were you aware of all the chaos that was going on behind you, or were you just comfortable out in front?
No, actually, I was only watching behind, so because I had to save 0.2 liters, so I had to lift every lap, every corner pretty much.
I got it. That maybe the fact that you were lifting might have added to the chaos going on because they were fighting behind you. Well, we don't think you had the points to get the championship this season, but 2 wins. You close it out with 2 in a row. Congratulations on a nice race win today.
Yeah, thank you, and congrats to David for the championship.
It was a well-deserved championship. Errol Num, 9-time champion. Always good to talk to him. All right, Ryan, you get the honors of talking to the man who picks up a piece of hardware. Oh, it's Alex Johnson we're going to talk. Okay, let you talk to former champ Alex Johnson in fourth.
Alex finishing in fourth position today after I guess you could say, a bit of a quiet race. How was that race for you, Alex? And what did you think of the layout of used at Oulton Park today?
Well, the race was all but quiet, I would say. Obviously, I had a terrible qualifying, so I started, I think, 12th or so. And it was the first half of the race was a pure mess. After that, I got some free air, and then the second half was pretty okay. Thank God they bumped into each other on the last lap, because that saved me P4 in the championship. Very unfortunate for Lee. I feel really bad for him, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I would say, like you mentioned, the early stages of the race seemed to be very chaotic with the pack being so close together. But as the race went on, it seemed to spread out, and you were just having a good consistent run, and you got rewarded with fourth place. And how do you think this season's went, and has it met your expectations?
Hard to say, really. I wish I had hoped for a podium position, but I basically stuffed up all my fuel stops except this one and last one. So I was already after run 1 and 2. I was way behind on the point. So it was the best I could do. So I'm pretty happy with that. But I wanted something more out of it. But still a very, very fun season as always. Great organizing by the ABL guys and great racing.
Alex, it's super. Do you finally have pit stops figured out? If you come back and make another run at the championship, you got to figure out how to do a pit stop.
I think so. I think I had the pit stop figured. Now the problem is the qualifying system. So it's a bit of a catch-22. It's one or the other, it looks like. But I mean, it is what it is. I had a very, very fun season, and next season maybe we go for a championship. But big congrats to David to finally beating Eric.
All right, the Swede with speed, Alex Johnson, the fourth place finisher here today. Now I get the honors of talking to what is now a two-time champion as we bring him down in here. Not a one-time, but a two-time champion. And David, be honest with me, this championship has to be a little sweeter than the other one as you did it. Well, you beat Aero Num head-to-head.
Well, maybe it didn't beat him to the line in this one, but yes, you're right, Soup. This one feels even just more sweeter because he's in here, so I can't actually believe I did that.
I can't believe you did it either. I tried to play it straight for everybody, but I didn't want to see a championship go to the wayside because of a mistake. And I was so worried when you were in second with Yunk behind you, because Yunk was really aggressive, and then turns around, it's you that gets into the back of you.
I apologize to you because it was one of those moments where I locked up, but on my screen, his car didn't move at all until I was turning the corner, and then it flipped on top of me, which I suspect that's why my car didn't have damage. So it maybe was a tiny little bit, but I apologize to him anyway, because that was not intentional, and it was my fault, however it dictated it. But yeah, up until then, I think you could tell I wasn't going to give up P2. I was really fighting to hold it. Yep.
I want to talk about the track a minute, because you're a veteran of the series. I mean, you've raced on all the tracks. To me, this one seems to put on a pretty good show because, am I wrong, but is passing kind of difficult here?
Yeah, passing at the speed that the front people were going at is really hard. You could see early on Lee's pace was a bit faster than mine, so I couldn't risk even trying it. I tried it on Aero, as you saw, because I thought, well, I need to try and make sure that he's not always going to be first. But yeah, it's a very, very hard track to pass on. You really have to take a lot of risk.
Yeah, I keep it in the back of your mind when it comes to schedule making. I know those draft tracks are fun, everyone pulling out and passing everybody, but as far as strategic-wise, watching it as a fan, it was fun to watch. Hey, David, congratulations on the championship. Hope to see you down the road.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. Cheers, then.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in quickly before David goes. Just a question regarding the closing stages of that race with a few of you guys all bunched together. And behind you, you had a very feisty Just trying to get by you. And how did you feel towards the end? Did you have any nerves or like shaky leg stuff or anything like that, or was it just do your thing and whatever happens?
No, I was really nervous at that point because I've raced Just before, and Just is exceptionally good at this track. He actually holds a record faster than mine. So yeah, I knew it was coming, and I was more happy when it was Lee behind me, because Lee, not that he's predictable in any way, but I felt a little bit more, safe that I could race him. So I knew when Just was behind me, it was going to be a tough fight, but we put on a good show, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great show to watch, and even though I wasn't racing, I was getting a bit of a sweat on just watching that. But overall, that was a fantastic race, and again, congratulations on the championship.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I was sweating too. Don't worry.
As that was new champion David Burns joining us, and yep, I have to say, Soup, that was a fantastic race.
Page 17 on the GSRC's commentator handbook says if your third interview, you hand out the season championship trophy to the driver. That's how you wrap up the interview. That's how you wrap up the season. We hope you enjoyed GSRC's coverage of season 20 here for Formula Neagle, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. We got to thank everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast. Thanks to the company's equipment and software you see on the screen right now that we use to stream cyberspace into your place. The original music that gives GSRC that extra unique flavor, that's courtesy of June Milan. See the screen for contact information. Again, this being the final, the season finale, this concludes GSRC's coverage of Formula Neagle for season 20. But rest assured, we'll be back for next season, season 21. We hope that is soon. On screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check them out and mark them down on your calendar. If you want more information about us, globalsimracingchannel.com, Twitter at GSRC. Let's try this again. I've only done this 9 million times. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Instagram at GSRC_gram, and live timing and scoring at GSRC.tv. While you're here, become one of our YouTube subscribers by hitting that button. And if you're looking for some type of unique item for a gift, how about checking out our store at gsrc.storenvy.com. 1 E in Store Envy. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Ryan, Sean, and Doug, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As Errol Num got his second win of the season, but David Burns got his second championship. Congratulations to both here at Oulton Park. Now that that's said, the housekeeping is done. We're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and see you on the track.